The quiet strength of Eli. In a small village cradled by rolling hills and a winding river, there lived a man named Eli. The village was called Bracken Hollow, a place few people knew, but everyone who grew up there carried its peace like a secret. Eli wasn't famous, he wasn't rich, but he was known for his steady calm in a world that seemed, at times, anything but steady. No one could remember a day when Eli had raised his voice in anger. Not because he had never been wronged, but because he understood something most people spent their entire lives chasing. Peace is not found when the world becomes quiet. It is found when the mind refuses to become loud. Every morning before the sun painted the hills with gold, Eli walked to an old oak tree that overlooked the river. He sat there in silence, listening, not to the birds, nor the wind, but to his own thoughts. He believed that the first battle of every day was fought within. If he could master that battle, the rest of the day would take care of itself. One autumn morning, a frightened young man named Thomas climbed the hill to find him. "Eli," he said, breathing hard, "everything in my life is falling apart. My crops have failed, my debts are growing, and every night I lie awake fearing tomorrow. Tell me, how do you stay so calm?" Eli smiled gently but did not answer immediately. Instead, he picked up a dry leaf that had fallen from the oak and placed it in Thomas's hand. "What do you see?" Eli asked. "A dead leaf," Thomas replied. Eli shook his head. "I see a tree that was never afraid to let go." Thomas looked confused. "The tree does not cling to what must leave," Eli continued. "It lets the leaf fall because it trusts another spring will come. Yet people hold tightly to yesterday, to fear, to anger, to things they cannot control. And in doing so, they exhaust themselves." The words settled into Thomas's heart like rain into dry soil. As winter arrived, storms swept through Bracken Hollow. The river overflowed its banks, winds tore roofs from homes, and many families feared they had lost everything. While others panicked, Eli worked quietly. He carried wood for the elderly, shared his food with hungry neighbors, and rebuilt fences without asking for praise. Someone asked him, "How can you help everyone without becoming overwhelmed?" Eli answered, "Because I carry only today's burden. When you carry yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fears as well, even the smallest task becomes too heavy." Months later, the village recovered. Fields turned green again, children laughed beside the river, and life slowly returned to normal. Thomas never forgot Eli's lesson. Whenever hardship came, he remembered the falling leaf and the old oak tree standing firm through every season. He realized that strength was not measured by how hard someone could fight, but by how peacefully they could endure. Years passed, and Eli grew old. His hair turned silver, and his steps became slower, but people still climbed the hill to seek his wisdom. One evening, as the sun disappeared behind the mountains, a child asked him, "What is the greatest victory a person can achieve?" Eli watched the river flowing without resistance. "The greatest victory," he said softly, "is to rule yourself. A person who conquers anger, fear, pride, and impatience has won a kingdom that no enemy can ever take away." The child looked at the river, then at the old oak tree whose branches still reached toward the sky despite countless storms. In that quiet moment, Bracken Hollow understood why Eli had become a legend. He had never conquered nations. He had conquered himself, and in doing so, he taught an entire village that true greatness begins where the noise of the world ends and the discipline of the soul begins.